Hi, my name is Tanya and welcome to another Cozy Talks video. It has been a really long time since I made the last one, and I only have 2 in the series right now, so please check those out if you haven't before, but it's been a really long time. The reason being is just because I've been editing my Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough and it's just been taking quite a while for me. I'm doing the best I can, but yeah, I'm really happy to be making a Cozy Talks video once again. And of course, if you haven't seen my FF7 Rebirth playthrough at all, I do have a whole playlist on my channel that you can check out. But yeah, I'm back. We're doing a lot of talking today. Essentially, we had a whole weekend of games that were announced from State of Play, Xbox Showcase, the Wholesome Direct, and of course, Summer Games Fest. And I just kind of wanted to talk about some games that were piquing my interest, and I can't wait to discuss them. Let's get to it. If you have been to a Cozy Talks video before, you already know that I do not script this at all. I literally just turn the camera on and I start talking about whatever the heck I feel like talking about that day. And today it is going to be about all the games that were announced. I do have a few that I listed on a little sheet next to me. So if I do look over here, that is probably what is going on, just so I can remember what the heck I'm talking about. We have the Xbox Showcase. So for me, you guys, this was the showcase of the whole weekend. I thought they did the best presentation wise in terms of just showing us a game. Go, 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 go. And I like that format. That's what we're here for. We just want to see game announcements. First off, what I wrote down was Doom: The Dark Ages. I have not played a Doom game before. I have watched one. I think Doom Eternal is what I've watched. And it looks pretty fast paced. It looks fun to just kind of jump in there and start beating all these demons up. And the soundtrack I hear is amazing. So I think medieval version of that, I love medieval stuff, so I'm freaking down to play. Probably one of those games for me where I'm gonna wait to see like what people say, just because I've never played one before. It looks really, really cool. I don't know. I was like watching it, even though I had not played a Doom game before, just being like, wow, that looks sick as hell. I kind of want to play that. So I can only imagine like whenever it actually comes out, what people are gonna think. I'm really curious also to people who have played Doom Eternal or other Doom games in the past, like what this take of like a medieval version of that would look like for them. So I'm really interested to see what other people say as well. Next is Avowed. I have been looking at Avowed since it got announced from Obsidian, and I love Obsidian. They have made such great games. They've worked on a lot of great games, and I'm sure one of them most noteworthy is Fallout New Vegas. I'm really, really excited to see this more like, it's medieval-esque but more magical feeling. Like I honestly really am enjoying the colors that I'm seeing in their palette. At first, I remember seeing like a game trailer that showed a little bit more gameplay not too long ago, and I was kind of a little bit on the fence because it didn't look that fluid to me, but this newest like gameplay trailer really kind of sold me. I was already excited to begin with, but then this last trailer just made me more hyped for like just everything that's going on. I loved how fluid the movement looked. It looked a lot better than it did in that other trailer that I saw. I'm just really, really excited. It looks like a more magical-esque world of medieval times, and I love all the floral and fungi that they're showing so far. So yeah, I'm just really, really excited to jump in there and see like how it feels. And of course, I'm all about the choice system, so I'm really excited to see how that's gonna lay out. Now I have Dragon Age Veilguard. You know, I've never played one before, so I can't really compare to other games in the series or the franchise of Dragon Age other than what I have seen from Veilguard. And I don't know, for me, I'm pretty excited. It looks really good. And actually just this morning when I'm filming this, it is Tuesday, they just dropped a gameplay trailer that was about like 20 minutes long for Dragon Age, and it got me way more excited. I think it visually looks really, really good. It looks really smooth. Everything going on makes me even want to try out the older ones, just because now I'm really curious of what the game series has to offer. And I'm sure a lot of people would say I should definitely try them out. I'm really, really interested. It looks like you get to customize your character. You have all these cool characters in a group that I'm assuming you're going to be, going on your adventure with, but it looked like there was choices of dialogue to choose as well. So it kind of has like a little bit of everything. The combat also looked really, really good to me. I don't know, everything just looked really, really fluid. I wish I had more to say if I had played other Dragon Age games in the past before, but unfortunately I haven't. But just from this gameplay trailer specifically alone, like I am personally sold. So I'm actually really excited, and it's become a game that definitely has risen to the top of my list because that's how good it looked to me personally. But please let me know down in the comments if like I am completely unhinged and this is like nothing like what the other Dragon Age games have been or have looked like, because I'm actually really curious. Now we have Assassin's Creed Shadows. So a lot of people are pretty, I would say, hyped for this. A lot of people have been waiting for Assassin's Creed to hit Japan. I've only played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and currently I'm playing through Assassin's Creed 2 Ezio's Story, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. It is obviously an older game, so I have noticed it is a little rougher around the edges than I'm sure newer Assassin's Creed games are. But you know, I know the history of Assassin's Creed in terms of its development and its reception from gamers. Looks like Assassin's Creed has a lot of, you know, shoes to fill. Sadly, I think Assassin's Creed seemed to have started out really good, and it's kind of just gotten downhill because Ubisoft has just not given it as much quality and more quantity. Assassin's Creed Shadows, I watched the gameplay trailer. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people are comparing it to Ghost of Tsushima, which is something I am playing soon, so I can't wait to get my hands on that. It just came to PC. That's the next game I am going to be playing fairly soon, so I'll probably be playing it before Assassin's Creed Shadows comes out, so I might be comparing as well, but I'm gonna try my best not to. I know a lot of people are doing that, and you know, I want to give Assassin's Creed Shadows like a fair actual play instead of just comparing it to other things. I think the dynamic between Yasuke and Naoe, please correct me if I'm wrong, I might be saying her name wrong. I really like that you have one character, he's definitely more of a brute force, he's slower. It reminds me more again of like a Souls-like kind of style where there's a parry system. And then you have Naoe, who's more ninja-like. She's very stealthy, moves very swiftly, and she's got a cool grappling hook and some like nunchucks or something like that. I think it's cool that like you can choose between the two of like how you want to attack a mission, and that does allow a lot of replayability. But what kind of sucks is I wish it was more of like its missions built off of both characters, where you kind of just switch in between depending on what's going on within the same mission, instead of like I have to pick, you know, Yasuke or I have to pick Naoe and then I just have to go for it. I guess I feel like that just because looking at the combat, I think I'm gonna favor Naoe a lot more. I don't know, she was very fluid with her movement, and it just looked a lot more fun to play in my opinion, and of course it's more Assassins like. I feel like she's gonna be favored. I hope, you know, once the game actually comes out that, you know, you get the feel of both characters, and hopefully it feels like you'll have a good amount of both within the game. Otherwise it kind of feels like, why'd you give me that choice? Because now I'm just gonna favor somebody. The other thing I'm kind of like upset about, I think they have a paywall for a mission, and you know, I freaking hate when that happens, so that kind of pisses me off, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, the gameplay trailer was looking really fire, and I'm pretty excited for that nonetheless. Next we have Fable. I am so excited for Fable. Oh my god, I can't believe that the trailer that they showed during the Xbox showcase was actual gameplay. I'm still in shock about that, because wow, does that look fantastic. It looks very cinematic. I'm really excited for Fable. I hope they really outdo themselves with the decision making within that game, because it's definitely a staple. Are you a hero? Are you evil? And I want it to be very like consequential of like what I decide to do. I wish they just said 2025. I wish we had a better window personally of when it was kind of going to come out, because we've known about this game for a while now, that it's been in development for quite a while, and I'm just kind of like, is it ever coming out? Luckily, we know it's 2025. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited. I hope it doesn't let me down. I'm gonna like watch this in the future and be like, well, did it let you down, or are you happy as ever? But the humor in the game is also really fun, so I'm just really looking forward to it. I have high hopes. I'm really excited to give it a try. The combat also was looking pretty fun. I can't wait to see like in the future a more in-depth gameplay trailer, hopefully at some point. It was looking really smooth, so I'm excited for that one. We are getting Life is Strange double exposure. Guys, the whole world stopped when this happened. I was reacting to the Xbox showcase on stream on Twitch, and I am still shocked. I was not expecting this like whatsoever. I didn't hear rumors. I knew literally nothing. I was in awe. Max Caulfield is back. I have so many questions because I want to know, like, is this game going to tie in to the original? Max Caulfield, if you don't know, is in the first Life is Strange, and it's my personal favorite still of the series. I've played all of them and I love all of them, but the first one still has my heart. There was so much shock factor for me in that game, and the ending was also very, very memorable. It's something that I'm so curious as to how people ended the story. Max Caulfield is back, and it's funny because, like, I remember watching that trailer thinking Life is Strange, but I thought it was that other game, Lost Records, that got announced a little while ago. So I really just wasn't even thinking about it. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I kept listening to the voice of the protagonist and I was like, that sounds like Max. I just didn't believe it. And then, you know, it got revealed that it's freaking Max Caulfield. And yeah, I lost my marbles, I'm not gonna lie, because then it went on to show Indiana Jones and I couldn't even pay attention to it because I was like still literally in shock. So sorry, Indy, love you, dude. But yeah, Max Caulfield is back and that is hype as hell. It's coming out in October too, so like I'm so excited. I hope it shows because I'm just like, Life is Strange is so good to me, and I just really hope that it showcases a story that also is shock-worthy, memorable, and, you know, can line up with the original. Because if you're gonna bring back the main character, I'm gonna have some feelings about it, so I am excited. It was kind of a struggle to like know that it was Max at first because the art style is so different from that one too, and she's a lot older. I'm really excited to try it out, and I'm just freaking out on the inside. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm so excited for that game. The other game I am so hyped for is Expedition 33. I remember it came on and I was watching it, and at first I honestly wasn't thinking much of it. It just looked like a very cinematic trailer at first, and I was just kind of like, okay, the visual style looks really good. I'm loving how it looks, but what the heck is this? And then as soon as it went to the gameplay, my jaw dropped. I was hooked already. It looks like a mixture of turn-based and action combat kind of play style. It's really interesting because I love turn-based games as is. The style that they put on their turn-based, you know, combat within this trailer just like drew my attention right in. It's such an interesting aspect, or it looks really interesting that like I'm unsure of like how to even think about it. I'm so excited to see like where this game goes, and I believe it's from a lot of people that love Persona, they love Final Fantasy, and I'm like, I love those games too, so like you're just drawing me in even more. I'm really excited. I probably have watched that trailer 3 more times since it first got announced. I'm keeping my eye on it because I'm so excited. It looks like a really interesting take on a turn-based style, and I'm curious, like the characters look really cool, and I'm just kind of curious of like what is going on, because honestly I have no clue what the heck is happening. So I hope the story, whenever this game comes out, it did say 2025, I hope the story is also something that really grabs my attention. I'm a big story girl. It does look like the combat looks sick as hell, and the enemies were also looking really good as well. So I'm just like pretty hyped. I think out of the whole showcase, so there's 2 games I'm just like really excited for. So hopefully in the future, whenever that game comes out, I'll probably be covering it and talking about it. We'll have to see next year. Another game that kind of took my attention was South of Midnight. The thing is with South of Midnight, I'm a little weary because it is from Compulsion, and they had a little bit of a hiccup when it came with We Happy Few that I heard a lot about. So I never played We Happy Few myself, but I did know everything that went on. They had a little bit of some scandalous stuff going on. There was a lot of like promises made that weren't there and all that kind of jazz. So South of Midnight is something I think I'm gonna wait for people to, you know, kind of review it and kind of base my opinion off of that if I want to give it a try or not. Visually, I think it looks stunning. The stop motion was definitely doing it for me, and the dialogue between the main character and I think like that big old fish thing she was riding on, I really enjoyed that.
You mean to tell me your mama never told you stories about critters and weavers?
One thing I'm also kind of nervous of, the combat didn't look too fun to me personally. I feel like it's gonna be something that I'll have to see more of, and something maybe I would just have to feel in my own hands, but visually the combat looked really slow. I don't know if that has to do with like the stop motion style that they're going for, or if it just looked a little barren to me on the screen in terms of the UI of like what the main character can do. I'm not really sure. With South of Midnight, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm like interested, but I'm also like nervous about it. So it's something that I'll keep my eye on because I do want to see what's going to go on with it. It did look pretty good. I'm pretty intrigued of what I've seen so far. So that'll be really exciting. Another game that I'm interested in is Fragpunk, I think it it was called. So I am a little tired of like these 5v5, you know, Overwatch looking games. I'm not gonna lie, I do play Valorant here and there, but Fragpunk at least looked like it kind of gave it a different kind of style. I really like the card system that it might be using, so I am keeping my eye on it just to like see where it goes. I'm at least happy that it looks like it's that style of game, but hopefully a different mechanic that's gonna make it feel very different from other games, because at this point a lot of them are all looking the same to me. They're all feeling the same as well, and they just don't grab my attention as much. But I'm hoping Fragpunk will, because that would be another cool game to play with a lot of friends. Summer Games Fest. I'm gonna be honest, I was a little let down by it personally. Nothing really stood out to me all that much, except like two things I would say. There was some cool stuff in there, I'm not gonna lie. The fighting game community, they definitely were eating good on that showcase that they were having. I totally understand. I barely have played a little bit of Tekken 8 because I have some friends that wanted me to try it out, and I do have fun with it, but I'm not much of a fighting game person, so totally understand those announcements being sick as frick for them. But for me, I was just kind of like, okay. What really stood out to me that day was Lego Horizon game. I will be honest, I haven't played a Lego game in quite a while, and most of my nostalgia for Lego games is Lego Star Wars on the PlayStation 2. I haven't even played like the remake versions of them yet. I love Horizon. You can't see it sadly, but I do have the mammoth from Horizon Forbidden West up on my shelf at the very top. I think it could be really exciting. It looked pretty cool. They started off the showcase with that, and yeah, something really fun, but nothing too mind-blowing. Next was a game called Wander Stop. I was pretty interested in this game, I'm not gonna lie. First I was kind of like, oh, okay, is it a farming game? Is it like, what is this? And then it got a little bit darker towards the middle-ish area of the trailer, and that's when I kind of thought, okay, this is really interesting. I have no idea what's going on, but the art style looked cute. It looked like it had some farming elements, which I also enjoy, and maybe a darker story that we are unaware of. So I am keeping my eye on that. Then we have Wukong. So Wukong we already knew was going to be coming out in August. I remember when it first got shown, I was like, okay, I'm kind of interested. And then they just showed another like kind of gameplay, very drawn out trailer more recently, and yeah, I'm sold. I'm definitely gonna buy Wukong. I'm gonna give it a try. My only my only experience with the Souls-like game is Liza P. I played that on my Twitch channel earlier this year in January, and I had such a blast with it. Like, I really like Liza P more than I thought I was going to, but it has opened my eyes to like wanting to play other games of that genre now, and so I'm really excited. Wukong, I think just like the enemy design looks really interesting, kind of creepy too. The whole atmosphere and the environments that game has been showcasing is what's really drawing me in. And honestly, I would love to play as a monkey man, so there's that as well. Sadly, Summer Games Fest didn't really do it for me. Next, we have the State of Play 2024. Oh, Sony. Honestly, I felt like this was kind of a letdown for me too. I don't know how everyone else feels, but that's just how it felt for me. I feel so like dirty saying that because I love PlayStation, but sadly they just didn't get the nail on the head. I'm gonna just name a few things that kind of stood out to me at the very least. I don't know too much information on them necessarily, but I just figured there's something we can talk about. First, we have Astrobot. I played the little playtest demo when I first got my PlayStation 5 for Astrobot, and I had a good time with it. So to see that they're making, it looks like a whole platforming game of Astrobot, like a full, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it seems like it's gonna be bigger than that little playtest demo. The fact that they're gonna make a whole game about him, I mean, I'm kind of excited for that. I really enjoyed it. I love all the little cameos of the legendary icons from Sony themselves. So it's something I'm keeping my eye on. I don't know if it's like at the top of my list, but I do love platformers, so I think it's gonna be a fun time. It looks really adorable too, so I can't really knock it down for that. Next, I have God of War Ragnarok. I adore God of War Ragnarok. It was so good. I can't tell you how many tears I had playing that game. So I already did play it on PlayStation 5, but it is coming to PC. We kind of already knew this was going to happen anyway, so it wasn't a shocker to see it during the State of Play, but it is really exciting. So I'm really happy for people that have not had the chance to play it to get their hands on it, because honestly, Ragnarok did a lot for me. It built on the combat system that God of War 2018 already had, and I think it just amplified that even more. So for me, I think if you already liked that God of War and you go to God of War Ragnarok, you're gonna just love it even more. I don't think you can really go wrong with it. And the story really got to me. It was very, very touching in many different moments. And of course, the Valhalla DLC, free DLC, by the way, Valhalla DLC just amplified that even more. I played that. It's so fun. First of all, it's kind of a roguelike, but the story elements that came from that DLC alone, I was sobbing. I don't want to talk about it for any spoilers here, but if you're gonna play Ragnarok, you gotta play Valhalla DLC. It was so freaking good. And that's pretty much all I have to say about God of War Ragnarok. You guys should play it as soon as it comes to PC. Okay, this one is not really, I don't know if I'm gonna play this. So Until Dawn remaster slash remake, I think it's a remake. I'm more confused about it than anything. And I don't know how everyone else feels, but that's how I feel. I played the original way back when. I had to rent it at the time because I didn't have money for it, but a long time ago I rented it, played it on my PlayStation, and I had a really good time. It's a really, really good game if you've never played it before. It's one of those games where you kind of make these choices and you have a group of friends and essentially you're trying to help everybody survive and get out of the woods. So it's a pretty exciting game. It's pretty thrilling. I'm more confused about it than anything because I don't even think the original one needs a remake. I don't understand why they did it, if I'm being honest. So I don't think it's something I'm gonna buy personally. I just don't think that it needs it. And plus, during the trailer, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of felt like the facial expressions and the movements look kind of worse than they do in the original. I will have to rewatch it again, but my first initial reaction was, why do they look like that? I feel like the remake made them look kind of weird. I would love to discuss that in the comments down below. I'm more confused why this is even happening, if anything. But if you haven't played Until Dawn at all, I do think it's a very good game and you should definitely try it out, but maybe just try out the original if you can get your hands on it instead of the remake. But you know, we'll see how that goes. I'm not quite sure. Next, something that's kind of piquing my interest is Monster Hunter Wilds. So I actually have never played a Monster Hunter. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't, but I have played Dauntless, which is kind of like a free-to-play Monster Hunter-esque kind of game, and I had fun with that. I played it like years ago, so it's been quite a while since I've logged on to that game, but I did have fun with it, and I know it's pretty similar but more simplified of what Monster Hunter is, and I thought, you know, if I could play with friends, it might be something that I'm looking forward to. Visually, it looks really cool. The monsters are looking really cool, but I don't have my own history with Monster Hunter. I know it's pretty exciting for a lot of Monster Hunter fans out there, but it's just something I'm kind of keeping my eye on. I just want to see maybe like what more people say about it when it first comes out. I thought the trailer looked cool, very deserty. That's kind of all I have to say about it. It's just something that I'm definitely looking at. Next, we have Silent Hill 2. Okay, here's the thing. Do not hate me. I'm very, very sorry. I'm not a scary game, scary movie kind of gal, but I have played some games here and there because of my freaking Twitch chat always, you know, really begging me to play these scary games. And because I love you guys, I do it. I think like the last scary game I played was Outlast, and that was, oh my God. Anyways, not the point. Silent Hill 2. I know how iconic this game is in general. It did a lot when it first came out, and I do know a little bit of the history of the game itself, but I've never played it. This remake coming out, I do want to give it a try, although I am very terrified. There were things crawling on the ground, and I don't know how I feel about that. And of course, you know, Pyramid Head is iconic. He's gonna be there. I don't know. I'm really nervous to try it out, but I have heard some people kind of nervous for this game in general coming out, that I think people are worried of, you know, the atmosphere that the original gave, if it's really going to give that feeling again. And I think because it's such an iconic game, just in general, that people are obviously going to be nervous of how it's going to come out. And we can't really say until we get our hands on it. But it looks good visually, at least in terms of, you know, the graphics and all that stuff. I feel like some of the movement looks a little blocky in my opinion, but you know, I think that's something I would just have to feel on the controller whenever I do give it a try. But I am nervous. I will say that once again. I'm very, very scared of that game, but I'm excited nonetheless. I kind of want to know and jump in and see like why it is so highly regarded as it is. And And, you know, I might try that out with the remake, but it'd be really fun eventually to go back to the original and see like what the differences are there, or if I get the same feeling, or, you know, whatever comes with that game series as it is. And then there was like a little drop of Dynasty Warriors. So I've never played the mainline Dynasty Warriors, but I have played 2 of the spin-off versions. I have played the Persona 5 Strikers game because, of course, if you know me already, I'm obsessed with Persona. And then secondly, also obsessed with Zelda, I have played Age of Calamity. These are like spin-off titles from the people that make Dynasty Warriors, and I did have a really good time with those. I know Dynasty Warriors, I think, is its own, you know, IP in terms of like its story and things of that sort. So I'm not quite sure if it correlates to any of the other games that have come out within that main line, but the trailer looked really good. And so I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm not really like a hack and slash kind of player, but it did look good enough that I am at least looking at it and seeing where it goes. I want to hear what people have to say about it. And because I like the spin-off games enough, kind of interested. I'm not gonna lie. Next, we have Ballad of Antara, I believe is how you say it. It looks like a Souls-like game from what I remember. The thing is like what I noticed from this whole weekend is there's so many Souls-like games coming out. And it's funny to me because I feel like last year was like farming game central. This year it's Souls-likes. I feel like a lot of developers are taking their own crack at it and seeing what they can do with that type of style of game, which is good, but I hope it doesn't get too oversaturated where it's just like, okay, I feel like I'm playing the same thing over and over and over again. At this point, I think with the Souls-like they're really gonna have to showcase something really cool or really amazing of that sort, but you know, we'll see. But Ballad of Antara, I don't know, I think I got interested in the trailer a little bit just because it looked like this, either like the kid on your back, kind of like being your own little backpack. I'm kind of more curious of what the story is for that game versus anything else. They didn't show too much, to be honest, for me to say everything that, you know, I would like to talk about, whether that's story, gameplay, you know, so on and so forth. Visually, it looked really appealing. I'm kind of curious as to what's gonna be going on with that, so I am keeping my eye open for like any other gameplay trailers that they showcase eventually. But yeah, it looked pretty cool. I'm interested. The last thing is Phantom Blade Zero. Visually, this game looks really stunning to me. They showed a little bit of gameplay, and I do really like the movement of this game. Again, it looks like another Souls-like, so it does have to really like grab my attention at this point, and I think it did its job. I'm excited to see a little bit more from it, but they did showcase this, I think, at some other thing last year. I can't remember what it was. And we got to see actual gameplay this time, and you know, nonetheless, I'm really excited. It looks really cool. The main character is like Witcher looking, and I'm down for that as it is. I'm really excited to check it out and see what it's gonna be all about. All right, so honestly, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much, because I know these videos usually come out with me just like yapping my mouth away. Most of the time, maybe it doesn't even make sense, but I hope that it does. But these videos are really fun for me to film. It's something that I wanted to do because this whole Cozy Talk series is where I feel like I could just sit down, talk to you guys, and it doesn't have to be a super critical analysis about games that I'm interested in or games that I've played in the past. And I really enjoy that because I'm a very like casual gamer, and I'm sure there's a lot of other casual gamers out there too. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. Let me know also down in the comments below if there's any games that really piqued your interest over the weekend during all these showcases, or if you have more to say about a video game that I talked about today. I would love to know and chat with you, so please let me know. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already if you want more videos like this one. And I do also make little playthroughs from my stream and post them on here as well. I'll see you guys next time.